Nothing much. Just getting ready for work and an interview tomorrow. What about you?
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How's your day?
Oh. Show me. Good.
Mondays.
Yep. Monday
It's like the more
and
you go
Sunday.
old, the weekend. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm sorry.
It's like the more we get
I'm
old, the weekends
saying,
go fast.
you know, you know what it is. Woo.
Let's give everybody in the chat. Hot fun in the summertime.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
So Chico from Junior Mafia passed away.
Chito Vec, yeah.
Rest in peace to Clarence
Crazy.
Avant.
Huh?
Rest in peace to Clarence
And he was
Avant too. I said rest in peace to Clarence Avant too.
oh yeah.
So it's funny. Ti just came out with an interview saying he almost signed to Bad Boy Records and shit.
So did a lot of other people join the club. You know, Missy didn't sign, DMX, Cameron, Big L. It's a long list.
Yeah, he said he had a vision. That's why he didn't want to sign it. Thank God.
Hmm? Got gypped? Yeah, we know.
No. He said he wanted to do his own thing. He didn't get creative control and stuff.
He's a smart guy because not only would he be able to have creative control, he would have got out of his money like the Locks did. So he was better off. All of them that didn't sign with Bad Boy was better. Missy was better off because she would have been broke right now. DMX, rest in peace, he would have been broke. Cameron, all of them. So they made a wise decision not to sign with him. This is why I tell y'all look at Puff Daddy like he's some legend of rap. What has he done except for rob his own damn artists? He bought out Biggie. Oh boy. Okay. So what?
Appreciate the love for the review yesterday, y'all. About to start this in about 7 more minutes. Okay, what else is going on in the news? I heard that new Ghostface track with Ray Martin. That shit was fire.
Yeah. I don't know when his album coming out. Still no date.
It's giving me early 2000s though, so I don't know why.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like Ghostface in the present. It sounds like vintage Ghost from the 2000s.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. The last thing I want to hear is Ghost trying to do some shit that he shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, Master P, man, is doing a lot of good shit, man.
Yeah. Why should not spreading the love around? Why should he keep it to himself?
Like I even like Hit Boy. I forgot. I even like Hit Boy's new album, man. That shit fire. So I want to talk about that one.
I remember when it came out a couple weeks ago. I didn't listen to it though.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that sometime soon. That Surfer Drown shit. Yes.
Is that the joint? That's the joint he did with Alchemist, the first single.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that joint is fire. Hit Boy got to be MVP with this year. He coming out with a lot of shit.
You know, I have an unpopular opinion.
Oh boy, I don't even want to hear it. I know you're gonna say some crazy shit.
No, all I'm gonna say is I'm not really waiting for a Primo and Nas album at this point because the shit Primo's been dropping lately has been kind of
I don't want it at this point. Yeah, I don't want it because it's not gonna be classic. It's gonna be disappointing, and it should have happened 20 years ago. Now I feel like Primo is not even a shell of his old self, and I'd rather have vintage classic Primo in his prime than Primo that just dropped the shit that Primo is doing now. There's so many other great beat makers Nas could do albums with. Apollo Brown is great. Static Selector, Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? 38 Special. There's a Muggs. There's so many great other beat makers besides Primo. That time was came and went.
We all know that shit with Pete Rock ain't gonna come anytime soon anyway.
But Hit Boy definitely got to be MVP this year. He got his own. I think him and Jay Worthy is coming out with an album. You know what I'm saying? Like he really doing it this year.
Also, too, I just recently read about Cher getting her money swindled by her gigolo and shit.
Hey, gigolos need love too.
Gigolos get lonely too.
Yes. How is he? What the hell is he buying with her money that her dough is doing?
Maybe
buying houses and cars. Like what is he buying? What is he buying?
I said maybe fentanyl and ecstasy.
Because if you have 300, and what she got, 300 million or something like that, that should last you a lifetime. So what is her boyfriend buying with that money that her money is depleting? I don't understand. He's K-Fed 2.0. K-Fed wasn't even spending Britney's money like that.
Yeah, he was eating all the food and shit, man.
He was eating all food.
Yeah, that's how he gained so much fucking weight.
Oh, that's what it was.
Hell yeah,
I just thought it was from the kids.
man. He was on Celebrity Fit Club with Shaw Jackson,
Oh
and
wow,
they had
I
an
didn't know
affair
that.
too.
I didn't. Yeah, I remember that shit. But he was buying shit like Jordans and like jewelry. He was buying like sneakers and jewelry with her money. He wasn't buying like cars and houses and shit. What is Shia's boyfriend buying with her money?
I say it's ecstasy.
He's buying drugs with 330
Hell
million.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Sheer's a freak. Shit.
She's a what?
I said, Sheer's a freak, low key.
What that got to do with the drugs though?
You might not be able to get it up right if you know what I mean. That's all I'm saying.
You give me 330 million, I'm gonna have a man's. I ain't taking that money to buy drugs. What the fuck is all that?
You'll be surprised. I'm gonna use the bathroom and I'm about to start this shit.
Huh?
I said, I'm gonna put something in the bathroom and I'm about to start this shit. Yeah, that's peep. That's why you gotta watch your money.
Crazy shit. That shit's supposed to last you forever. Like how I don't understand, and why she letting him do it. Like, well, he really piping her down that good that she like fucking take my money. Crazy, crazy shit. I don't want to see Pete Rock Phillips just yet. He's still in miss right now, but he hasn't taken that dive like Primo to me.
Yeah, P Rock, he still got some heat though.
Yeah, he still got some. Even with him, it's still not the same like I would like, but he ain't totally fall off the cliff yet. You know, like Swiss Beats and RZA and Primo.
All right, I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Let's go.
What's up, you two? How's everyone doing this lovely, lovely, lovely day? This your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy Try with me,
Yo,
and today we're going to do the finale. Hopefully, the finale of top 101 albums. I mean, excuse me, artists of all time. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Last week we did 101 to 51. So now we're gonna do motherfucking the rest of the list, hopefully. Because the reason why I say hopefully is because I gotta work early in the morning, and whatever we don't finish up by at least 1:15, we'll probably just save that for next week. But I have a feeling if we just go at a rapid pace, we should be able to get through this shit. No lie. You know what I'm saying?
no,
So
we're
it's
gonna
about.
we're gonna we're gonna run right through them. Fuck that.
You said what?
Let we're gonna
You
do
said what?
everything tonight. Let's just run through the shit and we mentioned the ones that's most important.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, like I said, we're just gonna run through it. Fuck it. All right. Number 50 for me is Neil Young. Folk rock icon, kind of controversial figure when it comes to publishing these days. The whole Spotify controversy, but this is a guy that's been in plenty of rock groups like Buffalo Springfield, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Dropped some of the best solo albums. My favorite one is the Tonight's the Night album from 1975. I feel like that album to me was like one of his more darkest ones because he did that around the time one of his friends died from like a drug overdose. You know what I'm saying? So Neil Young, that's my number 50.
Number 50 for me is Teddy P. Did I say Teddy Pendergrass the last one? It's Teddy P.
I don't think so. No.
I don't think it was the last one. I think the last one for me was Fake Downs was 51. Number 50 is Teddy P. The great Teddy P. Rest in peace to Teddy Pendergrass. That's 50.
Yes, Teddy P, Philadelphia's finest.
Yep.
All right. Number 49, Elton John.
Yes.
I mean, everyone in the mama should know what Elton John is. One of the best piano players in not just rock music, but just in music in general. You know what I'm saying? Very flamboyant. I'm more of a fan of like his 70s material. I'm not going to hold you. Some of the stuff after 78, very hit or miss for me. But surprisingly, my favorite album is the Lion King soundtrack. I'm not even going to hold you. That's his best album. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road might be my second favorite too, but in terms of music, I got to go with the Lion King soundtrack. So that's my 49.
49 for me is the Roots. The Roots. Black Thought, Quest, Love. I forgot the, rest in peace to me. The Roots, classic albums. Do You Want More? Ill Half Life, one of my favorites. Things Fall Apart, another one of my favorites. Phonology, underrated. Great hip hop band.
Definitely. I love the Roots. Um, my number 48 is Donny Hathaway.
Mm.
Yes, Donny Hathaway.
Okay.
One of the greatest soul artists of all time. One of his best singers, arrangers, producers, in my opinion. Sometimes when I listen to Donny Hathaway, I get a range of emotions like sadness, uplifting. Such a very well talented artist that I felt like the way he died was very messed up, in my opinion. But we're
Right.
just going to focus on the music. My favorite album, whew, damn, it's either Everything is Everything or Extensions of a Man. I'm not gonna hold you, but the live album from '72 is definitely a must listen. That's my number 48. You hear me? Let's try going through some technical difficulties. You'll try. Hold on, y'all. Think he's okay. I think he's going through some technical difficulties, but while he is gone, I'm just gonna say some shit. You know how our artist lists are just our artist lists are just based on what our favorites are, you know what I'm saying, and just who had an impact on who the most, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, man. So some people might get a little upset. Some people might get a little upset. Some people might get a little sidelined by some of the opinions because once we get to the 40s, I know a lot of people might be questioning some of my choices, but yeah. Also, too, I finished up the soundtracks that we're going to talk about next week as well. I mean, excuse me, next month as well. So definitely can't wait for that. I also know that next week is going to be next artist Sundays. We're going to do Cold Chillin'. We're finishing up the David Lee Roth solo double review on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So yes, the Bismarcky It's going to be the first one we're going to talk about when we come to Coachella, because I also want to give my thoughts on the documentary as well. Which, spoiler alert, I feel like it's a very well done documentary. I also feel that everyone should also check out the mixtape documentary too. Both of them are on Paramount Plus. Yeah, man, both of those. That's one thing I love about these hip hop doc. I like the fact that I watch certain hip hop documentaries and I learned something new. It's been like rarely I watched a recent documentary, and not trying to say like I know everything music wise, but at the same time, it's just that I like looking up new things and shit too. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Tri-City's on his way back. Yeah, I'm cute. Both of them are on Paramount Plus. I don't know. Netflix recently came out with a documentary on female rappers as well too. Lord have mercy. Shout out to Raekwon and Mike. They're also doing a review at the moment on Robin S. There he is. He's coming back. Welcome back.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay,
Yes.
we are number 48.
48. Did you do 48 already?
Yeah, mine was Donny Hathaway.
48 is Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott from Virginia Beach, the great legend, besides peaceful female MC.
You're breaking up a little bit now.
Loved her first piece.
Can you hear me? Hey, yo. Yo, can you hear me? Hey, yo, try. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hey, yo, can you hear me? Okay, again, we're having more technical issues. Great. Just bear with us today. I don't know what's going on today. Just bear with us. So, what do you think about J. Cole saying "Get Rich or Die Trying" is better than? I feel like that's his opinion. If he feels like that, then that's just what he feels. What's up, Kuji? That's funny. That's very funny. What's up, Cabrice? Cabrice, I think J. Cole is all cap. Hey, I mean, again, people's opinions. Not everybody's gonna like everybody. And Boosie saying R. Kelly would smoke. Little Boosie, he's just funny to me. But yeah, check out those documentaries out. Hopefully, some more new documentaries will come out hip hop wise. Kaveri said "Get Rich or Die Trying" is with the question one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, but I feel like J. Cole only said that because he was on stage with 50 at Madison Square Garden. I mean, sometimes people would say shit like that, in front of an other artist, but at the same time too, I've heard like both them give praises to each other over the years too, so it is what it is. I feel like if it was Nas, he would have said Illmatic. Okay, here he comes again. Yo,
Yo,
can you hear me? Hey, yo.
yo,
Hey, yo, try. Can you hear me?
yes, I hear you, yo.
All right. All right. You said you're 48, Miss Missy Elliott, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. All right. So my 47 is Van Halen. That's my 47. I mean, I'm not gonna spend too much time since we recently did a whole discography, artist Sunday, whatever you want to call it, on them. Very, very dope rock group. That's a piece of Eddie Van Halen. You know what I'm saying? Pretty dope. Love their energy, love their shit together. My favorite album, their first album.
47 is Culture Club. Boy George
Ooh,
and the band. Love love Culture Club. So many hit records. Karma Chameleon. Do you really want to hurt me? Time. Yeah.
yeah, Boy George is a dope singer. I don't give a fuck what no one says.
Cavace
All
was
right,
good.
all right. My next pick, 46, is Billie Holiday, jazz artist, legendary. You know what I'm saying? One of the best vocalists you would ever hear, not just in her time, but just in general. You know what I'm saying? Definitely one of the first jazz artists I remember listening to as a child. If I had to pick a favorite album, you know, believe it or not, it might be her Lady in Satin album from 1958. I don't know what it is about that record, but and that's ironically her last album too before she tragically passed away. You know what I'm saying? So Billie Holiday, that's my number 46.
Shabba Ranks. Shabba Ranks at 46. One of the best dancehall artists ever. Gave us many classic songs like Ting-a-ling and Mr. Loverman, Trailer Load of Girls. So yeah, that's 46.
Short ranks, yes. All right, number 45. We're gonna go with the Stooges, aka Iggy and the Stooges. Very dope. Very dope rock group right there, in my opinion. Iggy Pop, one of the forerunners when it comes to punk rock. Now, there's two versions of the Stooges. You have like the original version that was prominent in like the first two albums, which consist of like Iggy, Ron Ashton, Dave Alexander, and Scott Ashton. You know what I'm saying? But the original lineup, besides Iggy, passed away. But then when he did the Raw Power album, that's when you had the other people, like James Williamson was in it. Most of them was definitely very dope guitarist. My favorite album is the Funhouse album from 1970. It's a punk rock album, but it's has jazz influences and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is actually a real punk band, not like other groups. But I'm gonna leave my mouth shut on that.
Oh boy. 40, 45 for me is Bone Thugs and Harmony, a great
Thuggish, ruggish, pop.
rap group from Cleveland, Ohio. Definitely enjoyed their albums, their first couple albums. Crazy, Lazy, Busy, Wish, and sometimes Flesh. That they had a lot of great songs. Buddha Lovers and First of the Month, Thuggish Ruggish Bone, For the Love of Money, Look Into My Eyes, classics.
Yes, I was just bumping Art of War the other day too. Definitely.
Yes.
All right, Shrek, artist number 44, another rock group. I gotta go with the Kinks. Speaking of Van Halen, they were the originators of the song "You Really Got Me." They also had other dope shit too, "All Day and All Night," Lola. They weren't like the typical British invasion group. They kind of had like their own kind of sound. They didn't really go that psychedelic route like the Beatles and the Stones did. You know what I'm saying? I've not heard everything that they put out, but from what I heard, I definitely love. I've had to pick a favorite album. It might be the Village Green Preservation Society from '68. Keyword might be. So definitely love the Kings.
All right. 44 for me is New Edition, my favorite R&B group all time. They were like our version of the Temptations in the '80s when they dropped, and coming from Boston, Massachusetts, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, and later on Johnny, and they gave us classics like Candy Girl and Cool It Now, Mr. Telephone Man, Can You Stand the Rain? Definitely legends. They should be honored.
Yes, I love New Edition. All right, track artist number 43. I'm surprised y'all with this one. The Beach Boys.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Again, this is another rock group. I've not really heard everything, and I do admit they put a lot of crap after a certain period. You know what I'm saying? So, but from what I've heard, definitely good. Brian Wilson story songwriting was definitely unique at the time. The only album I really say was like great is that Pet Sounds album from '65, which influenced a lot of people, like the Beatles, Sergeant Pepper, all that crap. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
It's definitely gonna be hard. Yeah, it is gonna be hard to too many greats, but I tried to just put like most of them from different genres. So 43 is Rage Against the Machine,
ooh,
Tom Morello and Zach De La Roca. That group was awesome, and I love them. Evil Empire, Battle of Los Angeles, my two favorite ones. You know, definitely one of the best, rock groups of all time.
yeah, definitely a great rock group too. Speaking of rock groups, number 42, I have yet another rock group, Guns N' Roses. Very, very, very dope group in my opinion. Um, they kind of gave rock music its balls back in the late '80s. You know what I'm saying? Of course, when it comes to favorites, I love Appetite for Destruction, but the Use Your Illusion double albums, that is just as good as Appetite for Destruction. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, because
I
there's
got
still
send you
people
that.
who try to shit. You said what?
I gotta send you that list. There was a list that came out with like the top 15 uh worst rock albums of all time, and they had Chinese Democracy on that list.
Well, I'm not mad about that because I didn't really care for Chinese Democracy either. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But the Use Your Illusion double albums though is just like it gets shit on so fucking much by certain people saying, "Oh well, they had all these ballads, but they still had the hard rock song. It's like half hard rock, half ballads and shit too." Q says spaghetti. See, that spaghetti incident is coming very soon. That's all I'm gonna say. So that's my number 42.
All right. 42 for me is the God MC Rakim. I just saw Rakim on Wednesday. He killed it at Lincoln Center. Definitely a legend, top five, top 10 all time. And the stuff he did with Eric B, I ain't no joke and paid in full, in the ghetto, casualties of war, don't sweat the technique, mahogany. I loved it. And then his
Ooh,
solo, well, I think he has one great solo album for me. 18th Letter was great, with the Saga Begins and so many other joints on there. It was great. Definitely a Hall of Famer. You still got it, So yeah.
yeah, man. I saw Rockin' twice, man. I definitely know what you
Yeah,
mean
he
by
was good.
that shit. You know what I'm saying? He's actually my favorite rapper of all time.
Okay.
Mm. Track number, I mean, why do I keep saying track? Right? Artist number 41, Janis Joplin. Yes,
Ooh.
the late, great Janis Joplin. You know what I'm saying? She was a member of the Big Brother and Holding Company, a blues rock group, but I'm not gonna hold you. She was like the main attraction when it came to that group. If I had like a favorite album from her solo wise, it's definitely that Pearl album from 1971, which I want to say came out a couple of months after she died in 1970. That was a song where she had me and Bobby McGee, all that trash like Cry Baby, love that record. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So check out the performance that she did on the Dick Cavett show, which that was actually the last televised performance that she's done in my I think. So just check that shit out.
I 41, Tupac, the great Tupac Shakur, definitely in my top five all time. And Pac represented both coasts, did his thing with Digital Underground, and then going branching off on his own and giving us gems like Brenda's Got a Baby, If My Homies Call, So Many Tears, Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me. This man is a legend. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace to Pop. Um, number 40. Speaking of Pac, I got Madonna. Madonna is my number 40.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? To many people, she's the queen of pop. You know what I'm saying? She's the most boldest figure when it comes to pop and everything like that. Very controversial. That's one thing I love about her because she don't give a fuck. Favorite album is the Erotica album from 1992, which I feel like that's an album that kind of gets overhated. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a favorite. I love Madonna. Definitely one of my favorites of all time.
Number 40 for me is Kanye West. This man, he might be crazy, but he gave us a lot of great music in the 2000s and 2010s, and you know, I love the documentary that Netflix did for him, and just seeing all that old footage from when he was just a producer, and then he got signed to Rockefeller, came out with the College Dropout when it was like already done basically before he got signed, and gave us albums like Late Registration and 808 808s and Heartbreaks, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Loved it.
Definitely. All right, number 39. And this is actually the highest rated hip hop act. This is a Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do we even need to talk about Public Enemy? We
No.
just talked about Chuck D's solo album the other day. So very, very, very dope rock group. You love that political hip hop with a militant tone. Bum Rush the Show, Rebel Without a Cause, Fight the Power. Chuck D, Flavor Flav definitely did their thing. I even like Terminator X,
Yeah.
Professor Griff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, very, very, very dope.
Number 39 for me is the late great Isaac Hayes, a legend, a great artist he was, giving us classics like Hot Buttered Soul, my favorite from him, Black Moses, the Tough Guys soundtrack. This man was awesome, man. He was definitely a legend. Even back then in the '70s, he was great, and we lost another great one.
Definitely. All right. Number 37 is the Velvet Underground. Another rock group. You can pretty much call them like the first alternative rock group of all time. They started off being a project of Andy Warhol. Well, not like a project, but Warhol just pretty much what's the word? What's the word? What's the word? Managing them, managing them and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So this one is definitely a favorite of mine. If I had to pick a favorite album from them, it might be that White Light, White Heat album, classic album.
How you at 37 already? And I'm on 38.
Oh shit, I skipped one. I skipped 38. Excuse me. All right. 38. It's gonna be controversial. I know a lot of people put them on my number one, but I gotta go with the Beatles as my 38. Now, granted,
Okay.
I was not originally a fan of the Beatles like that, but I do like the latter stuff, like post 65, Post 65 is my favorite era. You know what I'm saying? My favorite album from them is Abbey Road. You know, you have John Paul, Ringo, and George definitely doing their things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my number 38. And you can just say 38 and 37.
All right, 38 for me is Nirvana, one of the best grunge rock bands from Seattle, giving us hits like Smells Like Teen Spirit and Come As You Are, Something in the Way, one of my favorites, In Bloom, Heart Shaped Box. Definitely loved their albums, Nevermind and Utero. Even the B sides with Incesticide was a great compilation of B sides and rarities and rest in peace Kurt Cobain. And you said do 37 too?
Yeah, 37.
37 for me is the Beastie Boys. Definitely one of my favorites growing up in the 80s with hits like Fight for Your Right and Shadrach and one of my favorites, So What You Want, Sure Shot, Get It Together. Definitely they gave us many classic albums and hits. Man. Rest in
Yeah,
peace,
definitely.
MCA.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, number 36 is Fleetwood Mac. Very dope rock group. Now, like I said before, I'm more a fan of the Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, Fleetwood Mac. I know that they were like a blues group, like especially like fronted by Peter Walsh, I think like that. But albums like the Rumors album, love that record, Tusk, Mirage, those like three of my favorite albums from them. They definitely had like that soft rock, but at the same time mixed in with a little bit of hard rock as well too. So definitely a favorite of mine.
Nice. Okay. 36 for me is SWV, one of my favorite R&B girl groups of the 90s. Coco, Lily, and Taj. Saw them in concert. They killed it. And they left us with they gave us many great songs like Right Here and Downtown. I'm So Into You. Weak. You're the One. And they still got it. They still killing it. They still touring and they sing. They all three of them can sing their asses off. Though. That's SWV.
Yeah, definitely SWV. Number 35 is Barry White. You know, definitely another favorite of mine. You know, he's definitely smooth motherfucker. One of the best producers, songwriters, singers, orchestra, conductors, and everything like that. I love the album Busta Rhymes. I mean, Barry White sings for someone you love. You know what I'm saying? That's a very, very, very dope album. Rest in peace to Barry White.
35 for me is Lauryn Hill, and she only gave us one classic album, but it was real impactful to both R&B and hip hop, and she was definitely the glue that in the Fugees, as far as I'm concerned, and she was great. She was definitely the star of the score on many songs like "Killing Me Softly" and "Ready or Not," "Fuji La," "How Many Mics." Her own album was great. We had joints like "To Zion" and "That Thing," "Final Hour." "Everything's Everything." It's great, great album.
Definitely. All right. Track number, I mean, artist number 34, Chuck Berry. You know, one of the fathers of rock and roll, one of the first great guitarists in music history, who definitely revolutionized how to play and everything like that. You know, songs like Johnny Be Good, School Days, and everything. You know, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have people like Keith Richards, John Lennon.
And
That's all I gotta say. Chuck Berry, that's my number 34.
34, the great legend of Puerto Rico, Big Pun. This man gave us a classic album, Capital Punishment, with joints like Super Lyrical and Still Not a Player, Caribbean Connection, Tres Leche. I loved it, man. A five mic classic. Rest in peace, Big Pun.
Definitely. All right. Artist number 33 is Parliament and Funkadelic. You know, one of the greatest funk acts of all time and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, originally they started off like as Funkadelic. They were like more hard rock. They were more like psychedelic funk and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? But next thing you know it, they got another deal with Casablanca and they had to rename themselves Parliament. Well, they actually originally wasn't they called the Parliament, excuse me. But then they had a name change and everything like that. But then once they got the legal situation straightened out, they had Jordan Clinton recorded on both Parliament and Funkadelic. Favorite albums: Mothership Connection, One Nation Under a Groove. Definitely, definitely, definitely a favorite of mine.
And that is the same pick for me. Ironically, this is the one time we got it the same pick on this list so far. I put George Clinton, but there's George Clinton, Parliament, Atomic Dog, classic record, Into You Now, one of my favorites.
Ooh,
Maggot Brain, Aqua Boogie. So yeah, I have George Clinton at 33.
okay, dope, dope. All right, next one, my number 32 is Frank Zappa. You know what I'm saying? Another very, very, very unique rock artist. Mothers of Invention. He had his own group, his own band, and everything like that. I love his that satirical sense of humor. His guitar playing it definitely gets very underrated if you ask me and shit too. Favorite albums like Apostrophe, Joe's Garage, Only in It for the Money, Freak Out. Both of those albums part of the whole when he was under Mothers of Invention. So very, very, very dope.
Are, are we gonna have time for so Kaveh could do his list, the top 20?
You said top 20.
Yeah, he said he wanted to do his top
Um,
20.
Let me see what time it's 12:30 already. Let me. I'm kind of. I have to be out of here at least by 1:15. So probably later on this week. I'm not gonna forget you because I gotta work early in the morning and shit.
I 32 is Jimi Hendrix. Loved a lot of his joints, Electric Ladyland, All You Experience, classic albums, and he was great. That performance he did at Woodstock doing the Star Spangled Banner, one of the best live performances ever for guitarists.
Yes. That Woodstock performance was legendary.
Yeah,
Number 31 is U2. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope. We were just talking about them yesterday too. Very dope
yeah.
rock group. Bono, The Edge. Two of the best artists of all time. You know what I'm saying? Favorite album for me, that Zooropa album might be my favorite one from them. And shit. Like I said, I love the typical ones like Joshua Tree, Autumn Baby. I love them, but Zooropa for me was just bananas and shit.
Yeah, yeah. 31 for me is TLC. Rest in peace, the Left Eye. Great, another great one of the probably my favorite female group from the 90s, and T-Bob's Left Eye Chili. They gave us classics like Ain't Too Proud to Beg and Waterfalls, Red Light Special, No Scrubs. Yeah, that's my 31.
You said Waterfalls and Red Light Special?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely a very hot song and shit like that. All right. Number 30, Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope artist. Gotta have Janet on this list. Revolutionary. She's still doing her thing. I just saw her in concert about 4 months ago and everything like that.
Nice.
Definitely a very dope concert and everything. I admit her first two albums not really my favorites, but when she came out with Control, It was a rap. It was a motherfucking rap and
Yeah.
shit. You know, that's actually my favorite album from her. Believe it or not, that one.
Control.
Either that one, yeah, favorite album.
Okay.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, man, they definitely knew what the fuck they were doing and shit. And the thing, Prince
30 from.
fired them.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
No, I hear what you said.
Right, I said Prince fired them, and they still found great success.
Right? I bet you regret that shit. 30 for me is Queen Latifah. She killed it at Rock the Bells. I think she had the best performance set at Rock the Bells with her live band. She was great, and she really brought positivity to women in hip hop. And of course, UNITY, which is her anthem now, and so many other great songs and albums. And yeah, she definitely is one of my favorites ever.
UNITY. Yes. All right, number 29. We just recently lost this artist, Tina Turner. You know what I'm saying, iconic. Definitely one of the reasons why a lot of women are doing music and everything like that. You know, her starting off with Ike and Tina, and then of course, you know, she had her issues with Ike, which we all should know about to this day. And then she came out with one of the best comeback stories in music history when she came out with the Private Dancer album and everything. Very, very, very dope album. That's actually also my favorite Tina Turner album as well too. And as far as Ike and Tina goes, I would definitely love the Working Together album from '69. That was a very great album as well too. So Tina Turner, that's my number 29.
29. What a guy that Reg calls the what do you call him? The God of Neo Soul or some shit? Black Jesus? It
Black
is
Jesus.
Maxwell. I don't think he's Black Jesus. I don't think he's black. He is a damn good artist though, and hear me?
I can hear you now. You good?
His first album was great. We are highly underrated. One of my favorites. Now actually the anniversary for that was yesterday for that album. Black Summer's Night Volume One was a classic, and I can't wait for Volume 2 to come out whenever that is. But yeah, Maxwell at 20.
Definitely. All right, number 27 is Sly and the
No,
Family
Madonna's not
Stone.
number one on my list.
Number 27 is Sly and the Family Stone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this list would not be complete without them and everything. Sly Stone, Cynthia Robinson, you know, the great Larry Graham, you know, Greg Enrico, very great drummer as well too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as a drummer, his drum pattern don't get a lot of praise, especially when everyone's been sampling his drums for a lot of hip hop and R&B. But I digress and shit. You know, if I had to pick a favorite album, it might be 1973's Fresh. You know what I'm saying? They definitely blew the lid for everybody. Every black artist that came after 1972, they were influenced by Sly. Let's be real. Let's keep it above with that.
All right. Where we at? 28 is Lady Gaga. Definitely liked it, Lady Gaga when she was doing music.
We're on 27.
No, I'm on 28. I ain't do 27 yet.
Yeah, I skipped 28 again. Shit. Okay.
You skipped
My
28?
fault. My fault.
Why you skipping numbers?
My fault, man. I'm all over the place tonight.
Do 28.
Okay, 28 is Nirvana.
Okay.
Try already mentioned this group. Very, very, very dope group. Pretty much they broke the lid when it comes to grunge music in the mainstream. A lot of people love Nevermind. Oh, I love all the albums, but my favorite one is In Utero from 1993. That was the album they've always wanted to make. Loud, abrasive, and everything like that. All Apologies, Milk It, Heart Shaped Box. So definitely a very, very, very dope rock group.
Yes. 28 is Lady Gaga. I loved her stuff when she came out with the Fame album, a classic, and Born This Way, and giving the songs like Poker Face and Judas, Alejandro, Just Dance with Akon, and yeah, she's a good actress as well now. So that's my 28.
Was not expecting Lady Gaga, but respect.
Yes, Lady Gaga. See,
Yeah.
people think they know what my list gonna be. No, Madonna's not gonna be number one. Thank you. You wrong.
Y'all funny. I'm just saying. All right. Number 26. This is like the main reason why I love the saxophone, why I wanted to play sax. John Coltrane. That's my number 26. Um, Very unique jazz saxophonist. One of the most influential cats, working with Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, and then he adding his whole spiritual dimensions in his music. I love Love Supreme. That's actually my favorite album from him. You know what I'm saying? Tragically he passed away so fucking young and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like he had a lot more to give. So that's my number 26, John Coltrane.
27 for me is Raphael Sadiq, and this man started with one of the best one of the best last great bands in R&B, Tony, and giving us joints like Little Walter and Feels Good, and then Rains in Southern California, Anniversary, If I Had No Loot. The list goes on. Many great songs that band had, and then he branched off and had many great solo albums, and scoring TV shows and like Insecure and movies and stuff. So yeah, Raphael Sadiq.
To this day, I love those Tony reviews we did.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Great.
Give me 1 second. So Cavase is gonna come for the Wednesday. You to do his list and shit too. So I'm already making a note of that right now. Yeah, like I said, I would let you know nothing but love Cavase. It's just I gotta be up at least by 6 in the morning just to get to work and shit. So I'm already doing a review tonight, but hey, nothing stops me. All right. Now we got number 26. Excuse me, 25. The Rolling Stones. Yes,
Yeah.
I can't get no satisfaction. You know what I'm saying? Brown Sugar, fucking Tumbling Dice. These niggas have dropped music since the motherfucking 60s and shit like that. And they've always had iconic songs in each decade. I love like the bluesy, I don't give no fuck kind of style and everything like that. A lot of people say they were like the Bad Boys compared to like the Beatles. I'm not gonna hold you. People might be surprised I like the Stones a bit more than the Beatles and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? But Stones has some weak shit too. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. One of them, I got a review coming very soon. Stay tuned. If I had to pick a favorite, whew, I might have to go with the Sticky Fingers album. Either that one or Exile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tattoo You is also another favorite of mine too. I know that's a re-review. That's a re-review that's coming very soon because Try loves that album as well too. So I want to get his thoughts on that album and everything. So Mick, but a lot of people must be surprised, but my favorite member of the Stones has got to be Mick Taylor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I felt like when it comes to him, he brought back a rebranded blues energy when it came to after Brian Jones passed away. Well, he got fired, then he passed away. Let's keep it a buck. But yeah, I definitely felt like he definitely channeled and he had a great chemistry with Keith Richards. Like no disrespect to Ronnie Wood, You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's a great guitarist in his own right, but a lot of my favorite era from the Stones came from Mick Taylor and shit too. And a little irony too. Tattoo You
Right.
was like unreleased songs from that period, but they took some of his guitar work off the album. I think Mick Taylor had to take them to court, but we're gonna talk about that when we talk
Wow.
about Tattoo You in the future. So yeah,
All right. 26 for me is my Black Jesus, D'Angelo. The Black Jesus of Neo Soul, giving us two
that's
classics
why I
in
said with
5 years with. I thought it was. Oh yeah. Okay. My bad. Giving us two classics in 5 years with Brown Sugar and Voodoo, both classics. Joints like Lady and Brown Sugar and Devil's Pie. I love this guy. This guy, great singer, great producer as well. So that's my 26.
mm, yeah, D'Angelo's that dude. I even like Black Messiah. I feel like that's a classic album too.
That was good.
Number 24, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. What You Want, Baby I Got It, Aretha Franklin. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a favorite of mine. She definitely had one of the most influential voices when it comes to music and everything. If I had to pick a favorite album, definitely the Young Gifted and the Black from 1972. But one thing about Aretha Franklin that I definitely love, she's a very, very, very great pianist. No one gives her just due for her piano playing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't believe me? Check out 1970 Spirit in the Dark. Snigga, come on, man. Like you won't regret it and shit too. You know what I'm saying? But definitely Aretha Franklin's a favorite of mine.
25
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me is the late great jazz artist Miles Davis,
Ooh,
phenomenal jazz artist, giving us classics like Bitches Brew, songs like So What, Blue and Green, Bye Bye Blackbird, Freddie Freeloader. Even did a whole album produced by Easy Mo B, the Doo Wop album, classic.
yes. Niggas don't know shit about that one. That was
No,
actually some of the first shit Moby did, even before working with Kane too.
right.
Yeah, man. I need to get my hands on that joint too, but that shit hard to come by.
Yeah, that shit is out of.
Right. All right. So where we at right now? Number 23. Okay.
Yes. No, I'm on 24. You on 23?
Yeah, you just did your 20. You
No,
just
that
did your
was 25
24.
I
That's
did. No, that was 25 I did.
yeah. I just did. Oh yeah. So you're doing 24. Okay.
Yes.
So Miles Davis was your 24.
That was my 25.
Okay. Then what's your 24?
24 is Buster Rhymes. Buster Bus from Leaders of New School. Great solo career. His first four albums, phenomenal. Best in his solo career. Giving us joints like Everything Remains Raw and Woo Ha and Put Your Hands on My Eyes Can See, Dangerous. Um, I Know What You Like with Mariah Carey and Flip Mode. Just
Oh,
phenomenal
wow.
hit records after hit records. So yeah.
All right. Buster Rhymes. Number 23. Man, y'all not ready for this one. Man, what can I say about those I have not said before on this channel? I feel like there's three rock groups I would say are my favorites. Them, Cream, and Led Zeppelin. But in recent years, I've kind of leaned more into the Doors because you didn't know what to fucking expect from these motherfuckers and shit. Like Jim Morrison with his catastrophic philosophical poetry that I feel like nobody has been able to touch. I know people say, "Oh, they have a Jim Morrison kind of style." No, no one has a Jim Morrison style. Let's just keep it a buck with that. I feel like he's definitely one of the greatest frontmen in rock music history. And then Ray, my nigga Ray, organist, like he provided a sinister organ to the motherfucking thing, which what set them apart from a lot of other groups and stuff too, because you know what I'm saying, they didn't really have a bass at some of their earlier albums, so that was used more as a fill-in and
Right.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely why I kind of put them in another atmosphere compared to other groups. Like people always tell me when it comes to the '60s, you gotta see their favorites are like the Beatles, Stones, Who, Beach Boys. All due respect for that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, to me, the Doors was just always they were always on a pedestal that I feel
Right.
like few can touch. Favorite album from them? Ooh, man, Morrison Motel. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that might be Jim Morrison's vocally his best album because he was listening to like a lot of Sinatra at
Mm-hmm.
that time too, and his vocals was kind of resembling Sinatra on a few tracks. I'm not saying he was just singing like Sinatra, but
Right.
songs like Peace Frog, um, Blue Sunday. You know what I'm saying? He definitely tried to emulate Sinatra. So definitely did reviews on all their albums with Jim Morrison. So y'all check that shit out.
23 for me is Lenny Kravitz, another great
Okay.
guitarist. Um, I loved a lot of his songs. You know, It Ain't Over Till It's Over and Fly Away, American Woman, Are You Gonna Go My Way? One of my favorites. Rock and Roll Is Dead. You know, we did a
Yes.
great review on Are You Gonna Go My Way? I love that album, classic. You know, what one of my favorite ones that nobody talks about is Time for Love Revolution from 2008. That was very underrated. That had the single
I
I'll
never,
Be Waiting. Huh?
I never heard that. Wow.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was underrated. He got some of the latter albums. I don't think he made his best stuff, but that one was good. He had one in 2018 called Raise Vibration. It was okay. You know, he kind of did like some 808 trappy shit on that one as well, which is hard to believe for Lenny Kravitz, but you know, he's experimenting. I like it. You know, that's what he's supposed to do as an artist, and yeah, he's definitely one of the best guitarists of all time.
Yeah, definitely agree with you about that. And just let you know, that's a rock artist me and Tribe both liked that we
Yes,
reviewed. So
right. One of the rare ones.
I just had to say it just to be petty.
Yes, but it's true.
Um, number 22 is the Clash. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Might be a surprising pick because I've kind of not talked shit about them, but I said I have like a love hate relationship. But I'm not going to deny the influence that they've had in music history. You know what I'm saying? Joe Strummer, the late great Joe Strummer. You had Mick Jones. You know, again, they were like punk rocks, Mick and Keith. They were there. They were just that raw chemistry that you had and everything like that. Paul Paul also was a great bass player. Topo great on drums. You know, a lot of people say London Calling is the best album. I'm not gonna deny that, but to me, I've been more of a Sandinista motherfucker and shit like that. It's a triple album full of like a lot of varied choices and everything like that. I feel like the first four albums to me are my favorites. The
Mhm.
last two I had my issues with. That's all I'm gonna say. Even though Comeback Rock had two of their best songs,
Right.
Should I Stay or Should I Go and Rock the Casbah. You know what I'm saying? I do have some issues with that, so that's the
Rock
Clash.
that can a classic record right there.
Oh yeah. I love the video too.
Yes. Um, 20. What we at? 22 is Marvin Gaye, the late great Marvin Gaye. Rest in peace. Phenomenal discography. What's going on? One of my favorite R&B albums ever. Definitely check that if you haven't listened to that. Let's get it on. Sexual healing. Got to give it up. I want you. So many hit records that this man had, and it's a shame that he's no longer here.
Yeah, it's definitely a shame. Speaking of Motown, My number 21, I gotta go with Smokey Robinson, but I'm also gonna say Smokey Robinson and the Miracles too. I'm just gonna put both of them together too. Definitely my favorite Motown group of all time. Probably my favorite Motown act of all time.
Right.
I know people might say the Supremes, people might say the Temptations, hell, people might even say Jackson 5 and shit, but Smokey Robinson and the Miracles definitely laid the blueprint for a lot of the acts of fall. Like they were like the Jungle Brothers of most, like the same way people look at the Jungle Brothers for the native tongues. I feel like the Miracles was just had the blueprint every Motown act followed, even in the latter Motown, like DeBarge and Boys to Men and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Smokey Robinson, one of the greatest songwriters of all time. You know, all the members wrote songs too. Let's keep it a buck too.
Right.
You know, Smokey Robinson had a very successful solo career that's he's still going on today. You know, 83 years old, still gyrating and grinding on stage and shit. You know,
Right.
I was like Smokey. I was like, somebody get Smokey right now and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, favorite albums. I'm gonna say my favorite group album is the 1969 album on What Love Has Joined Us Together. But solo wise from Smokey, I gotta go with that Quiet Storm album from '75. Man, that shit right there, R&B classic.
21 for me is Pete Rock, the Chocolate Boy Wonder. Great, my favorite producer all the time, and giving us two classic albums with CO Smooth, and then the remixes and the stuff he's done for so many artists, Public Enemy and House of Pain, Mike Geronimo, Biggie, Nas, Jay Z. He has a great discography. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he's 21.
Yeah, definitely. Top 20, and we're still right on time too. Number 20, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nice.
This might be actually my favorite band of all time. I mean, this list can't be complete without them. I mean, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the late great Maurice White, Philip Bailey, Vanita White. They had they had like 8,000 members and shit too. But some of my favorites are like Al McKay. You know, they had the Phoenix Horns, Ronnie Laws, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely one of the forerunners when it comes to like that progressive soul music. You know, you had joints like That's the Way of the World, Reasons, Let's Groove. You know what I'm saying? I feel like those are all very, 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 very dope songs. My favorite album from them is going to be 1977's All in All.
Nice. All right. 20 for me is Primo and Pete Rock. They're like peanut butter and jelly for me. So my two favorite producers all time. Primo, what part of the greatest duo, him and Guru, rest in peace, Gangstar, gave us many classics. You know, Hard to Earn and Moment of Truth, Daily Operation. You know, and then the stuff he's done for so many artists like MOP and J. Rule, Group Home, Bahamadia, Jay Z, Nas. It's phenomenal.
Definitely. Um, Number 19, The Who. Very, very, very great rock group right here. If you guys probably watch CSI or any of the other cop shows, they have their songs playing. Hell, if an episode's on streaming or syndication, the song's probably playing right now and shit too. You know, this was pretty much proto punk rock right here. You know, they were very aggressive. It was like the Beatles were like the good boys, Stones were like the quote unquote bad boys, but the Who, they were like savages, motherfuckers. They were just savages, in my opinion. Pete Townsend, one of the greatest songwriters in rock music history and shit. Like his songs were like fucking MGM soundtracks. You know what I'm saying? It's just fucking out there. You know what I'm saying? And you got Roger Daltrey, who was one of the greatest frontmen of all time. One of probably in terms of like the British invasion, he was the best vocally, in my personal opinion. John Entwistle, very great bassist, underrated as well too, you know. And then you had Keith Moon, one of the most craziest drummers and personalities in rock music and shit, you know. They were like the creators of quote unquote rock opera. If I had to pick a favorite album, it might be Quantifinia. That might be like the peak of their creativity and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised I have not done any reviews on them. To be real with you, very very surprised. But I guess other stuff caught my attention. But I got a good amount of albums from the Who I can actually talk about and stuff too. I don't know how you're into the Who and shit. You know,
Who's that? The Who?
the Who.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some of these songs.
Okay, cool.
You know. Number 19, the Queen that is no longer here with us. Whitney Houston, one of the best singers all time, leaving us so many hit records. I Will Always Love You, the Dolly Parton cover, where she did it better than Dolly. I Want to Dance with Somebody, Greatest Love of All. Shoot, Exhale, Woman is Phenomenal, man. Like my favorite Whitney album is always be our first one. I think our first one is one of the best debuts ever. For R&B and pop music, and she will be missed.
Definitely. Number 18, Otis Redding. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is one of soul music's greatest. He is definitely an icon when it comes to vocaling and creative control too. If I had to pick a favorite album, it might be Otis Blue. That's like one of the greatest soul albums of all time, and definitely also has some of his best covers as well too. Like I love his cover of "A Change Is Gonna Come." That's a very good one as well too. My favorite song might be "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay." That's that fucking joint right there. So yeah,
Yep. 18 for me, Eminem, illest white boy in
yeah,
the game. Love his shit. From Infinity, the Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers, Eminem Show, classic albums, one of the best spitters ever. And he gave us so many joints. My name is and the way I am, Superman, Stan, Role Model, a lot of classics, man.
definitely. Yes, Eminem, white boy and shit. You know what I'm saying? But everyone wants to downplay his fucking skill and shit. But they would
Yeah,
praise like this Ice Spice and shit. And she's probably half white herself and shit.
right.
But okay.
Melly Mel, no, he didn't want to get his ass whipped by L. You know,
Right.
yeah, he had to apologize.
All right. Number 17, the late, the great Little Richard. Man, Little Richard, man. That's all I gotta say. Good golly, Miss Molly Tutti Frutti. Every time this motherfucker say he ain't getting no respect, man, I be feeling that motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody took something from him, whether his vocaling, his stage presence, his flamboyancy. He was definitely the godfather of rock and roll for a fucking reason. Excuse me, the architect of rock and roll for a fucking reason and shit. If I had to pick a favorite album, it might be his first one. Here's Little Richard from '57. You know what I'm saying? That was like one of the greatest rock and roll albums you will ever hear. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a favorite of mine. Classic.
17, I got my boy Skateboard P, Pharrell Williams, a great producer, a great artist, and producer many hits for different artists like Khalees, The Clips, Justin Timberlake, Jay Z, and also a visionary with fashion. Having Pharrell Williams,
No,
Skateboard
man.
P.
Okay. You said an artist I didn't care for.
Having
That's
have, having his own clothing lines like Ice Cream and Billionaire Boys Club, and now being the head of Louis Vuitton, and he's gonna kill it. I definitely think He's well deserved of that honor, and he's a visionary. He's definitely a Renaissance man.
He
Mike
is.
was good.
Yeah, what's up, Mike? Number 16, Pink motherfucking Floyd. Oh my fucking god! Now we're really getting into the artists that laid an influence on me. You know, they were definitely a progressive rock act with psychedelic and experimentation. You know what I'm saying? The controversial Roger Waters. You know, all of them were great songwriters, but to me, his songwriting was just epic and everything like that. You know, um, Sid Barrett, definitely one of the most outlandish figures, even though he was only really on the first album, but his presence was an influence to a lot of people that can't be ignored. David Gilmour, another great guitarist and probably the best singer of the group. Richard Wright, great keyboardist as well, and also Nick Mason, you know, best great drummer. You know, my favorite album from them, I got to go with that Dark Side of the Moon. I know that's a typical choice, but hey, that album literally, to me, that's the greatest rock album of all time. You know what I'm saying? The greatest rock album of all time. Not no American Idiot or Dookie or anything like that or anything Limp Bizkit done. That
Of
the
course
Dark
he
Side
gonna
of the Moon.
say that. Of course he gonna say that.
But if I had to say the one with the best songwriting,
Oh boy.
I gotta go with Animals too. Animals, that's another one right there. It's very, very, very good. Like I gotta talk about that album in the future. You know what I'm saying? Because Pink Floyd, man, sometimes you just get lost listening to them. Now that's another group I get lost listening to.
I just get lost.
Of course, you would say that. Find out. Well, when you listen to them, I recommend you
Uh,
finding your conscience. That's what I have to say.
I listen to Dark Side of the Moon.
It's a great album.
You know, 16 is it is a good album. It is. It's great. It's great. 16 is Sade. Man, I love Sade. Beautiful woman still at her age. Great band. Classics like Smooth Operator and Kiss Life, No Ordinary Love, By Your Side, Cherish the Day. So many great albums. Love Deluxe is my favorite. I love the Promise album, Diamond Life. So yeah.
Definitely. Definitely great artist. Um, number 16, excuse me, 15, Sam Cooke. You know what I'm saying? Great singer,
Yes.
one of the most groundbreaking artists when it comes to gospel acts crossing over to what they used to call back in the day secular music. You know what I'm saying? That devil R&B music and shit. You know what I'm saying? Of course, everybody knows that song "A Change Is Gonna Come." I love songs like "You Send Me," "Cupid," "Shake." That was my joint. If I had to pick a favorite album from Sam Cooke, it might be 1963's "Night Beat." That might be my favorite album, but overall, I love the live at the Harlem Square Copa. Excuse me, live at the Harlem Square Club, which they were supposed to have came out with in the '60s because that was actually recorded in 1963. But his label RCA thought it was too gritty and too raw, aka too
Right.
black, for the crossover crowd, so they shelved it and they released it in 1985, 21 years after he died. So that's crazy. That's what Sam Cooke was
Mhm.
fighting for, artists, black artists, like getting their publishing and shit too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Sam Cooke. That's my number 15.
All right.
Ooh, I'm getting chills right now.
15 for me is Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey, kind of scary. Yeah. Mariah gave us many hits. Vision of Love and Hero, One Sweet Day, Honey Fantasy, Heartbreaker remix. Some great good remixes. I'm already tired of talking about Mariah Carey already. I felt like we
Sorry,
done like the classic stuff from her now. just for the second half and get to the bullshit in her career, but she's still a legend.
Yeah, I know, Try. You're not looking forward to those later albums. I know.
Um, no, no, except for Emancipation of Mimi.
We already talked about that. All
We
right.
talking about that one? Oh yeah, it's really
Yeah.
downhill from there. Then
All right. So my number 14 is Cream. Yes, one of Try's favorite rock groups and shit too. They have Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, Ginger Baker, the group that definitely put the ass when it comes like to blues rock with a little bit of progressiveness and psychedelia. I had to pick a favorite album from them. It might be that Wheels of Fire joint from '68. You know what I'm saying? That was a very dope album. For three people, they made great music like this, and they were also the first rock supergroup of all time too. So let's give respect to Cream when we got to give respect to.
all right. 14 is the Notorious B.I.G. Left us with two classics, Ready to Die, Laugh After Death, double album, many great joints, Juicy and One More Chance remix, Warning, Big Papa, Hypnotize, Kicking the Door, classics, classic albums. Rest in peace to be a Biggie.
Definitely. Um, excuse me. Number 13, I gotta go with Queen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Great rock group, and the best of all time. Had the late great Freddie Mercury, one of probably rock's greatest vocalist and frontman of all time. Ryan May, Roger Taylor, and of course, you had John Deacon too. You didn't know what to expect from Queen. One minute they can do a hard rock album, then they'll do a disco album, then they'll fucking heavy metal album. Like it's like they were the perfect experimentation group of all time. And that Night at the Opera is actually Night at the Opera and the Game are my favorite albums from them too. So
my
yeah, that's
favorite
my
one.
number 13.
13, the man that started a whole genre of music, Ted Riley, New Jack Swing, the producer that started
Yeah, well,
two great groups, Guy and Blackstreet, and gave many artists like Keith Sweat, Johnny Kemp, rest in peace, Johnny Gill, Bobby Brown, most importantly, a lot of hit records. If it wasn't for Teddy, Bobby Brown would not be a star right now. You know what I'm saying? Teddy gave a lot of artists many hits, and he definitely should be saluted.
definitely. All right, track number 12. Excuse me, artist number 12. To me, the greatest rock artist of all time, David Bowie. You know what I'm saying? Bowie. What can I say about David Bowie that hasn't been said before? You know what I'm saying? Definitely a favorite of mine. The same way I like how Queen experiments, the same way I like David Bowie. You know, my favorite album from him is that Station to Station. That might be a weird choice, especially even coming from Bowie himself, because he don't even like that album because he was on cocaine and he was on a lot of cocaine during that time and shit like that too. So, but I feel like it's just as good. It has some of his best songs, but I feel like he never really put out like a bad album. To be real with you, but I gotta get more into like the latter period and shit too. So that's David Bowie.
Number 12. If it wasn't for this group, there would not be other groups able to get individual contracts. Wu Tang Clan, number 12. If it wasn't for this group, let me say that again. It would not be a Dipset or a G Unit. A lot of these other collectives would not be able to get individual contracts if it wasn't for them. To have 9MCs get different deals on different labels because of the RZA, a producer that produced many classics for them, Cuban Link and Liquid Swords to Cal, Iron Man, Supreme Clientele. the first two Wu albums, classics. Wu-Tang Clan.
I just saw that list you told me about. I only disagree with the Led Zeppelin one,
Right.
but everything else I agree. Those are some shitty albums. Anyway, but yeah, the Led Zeppelin one, I'm like, hell no, that shit was fire.
Right.
That shit was fire. Y'all better. It's not as good as Physical Graffiti. I'll give it that. But in
Right.
terms of guitar work, Jimmy Page did his thing on that one. My number 11, Bob Marley. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope artist, revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty much like the greatest and most iconic figure to come from Jamaica and even from reggae. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say Bob Marley and the Wailers because the Wailers definitely
Wagwan.
had a lot of what? What?
Wagwan.
You stupid. But yeah, man, definitely definitely a favorite artist of mine. My favorite album from Bob Marley, and also in my opinion, the greatest reggae album of all time, Exodus from 1977. So my favorite joint is Waiting in Vain, title track. I mean, come on, man. Like, don't get me started, man. Don't get me started.
Hmm. Yep. Number 11 is one of the best producers, top three for me, Dr. Dre, from a legendary group, NWA, and creating classics for that group, straight out of Compton, Niggas for Life, went on and gave Snoop his best album with Doggy Style. He had his own great album with the Chronic, and then Chronic 2001. Gave Game one of his best albums with the documentary. Eminem, 50 Cent, so on and so on. Has one of the best labels still in the game now with Aftermath, and he's done so many great things for other artists, for Nas, Jay, maybe J. Blige, The Firm, great, the GOAT, Dr. Dre.
Definitely. All right, the top 10. Number 10 is Ray Charles. I mean, Ray Charles is definitely one of the greatest voices and one of the greatest figures when it comes to soul music, especially the beginning of soul music. Um, I love songs like "Hit the Road Jack," "Leave My Woman Alone," "George on My Mind." If I had to pick a favorite album, honestly, it might be that 1959, The Genius of Ray Charles and shit. Like he just went in on that album. He had some early Quincy Jones on that album as well too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love modern sounds of country and western. I love that one too. But that Genius of Ray Charles, he was at his best. Like it was like a perfect R&B album of that time and shit.
Hmm. Number 10 is the GOAT of R&B for me, R. Kelly. The GOAT, Kells, the one and only. And I saw this man in concert in 1994. He was great. He sang opera as well. Phenomenal producer, songwriter, arranger. He did it all. He didn't run to different producers to, get beats from other people. He did it himself and gave us many classics. 12 Play, one of the best albums ever. The self-titled album from '95, the double album R, many great songs, Half on a Baby and Sex Me and Bump and Grind, Feeling on Your Booty. He's a legend, man. Fuck all that other shit he did in his personal life. He paying for that. Musically, he is the GOAT.
I saw this one post earlier. It's kind of fucked up, but I saw this one post about R. Kelly. They said, "Are you still
Uh,
listening to R. Kelly music?" And this nigga said, "He did PRB, so I'm good."
oh man, the GOAT.
uh, my number 9 is Jimi Hendrix. Or I can also say the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Definitely one of my favorite rock groups of all time. You had my motherfucker Jimi Hendrix, the greatest guitarist of all time too. He did things for the guitar and motherfuckers still trying to do, but they look like karaoke motherfuckers and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Mitch, my nigga Mitch Mitchell, who's also a very dope drummer as well too. And then you had Noel Redding, a dope bassist as well. I can't pick a favorite album from the Jimi Hendrix Experience. 'Cause I love all the albums the same. You know what I'm saying? So, Our Experience might be his best guitar album. Access Bold as Love might be his best songwriting album, but Electric Ladyland is probably artistically his full vision. I even love the stuff he did from 1970, that Fire album and shit too. That was pretty good too, that live album. But yeah, Jimi Hendrix, man, come on. Don't fuck with me and shit.
Number 9 for me is the king of reggae music, Bob Marley. Rest in peace. I love this
Right
man's
on.
music. His each member of his family are artists, and they come out with great music as well. But he definitely will always be the goat of Jamaican music, with joints like "Could You Be Loved" and "Jammin'," "Redemption Song," "Is This Love," "I Shot the Sheriff." I love the Uprising album from 1980. I love the Kaya album and the Survival album. All classics.
Definitely. Number 8, we spent like almost 3 months talking about her albums. Mariah Carey.
Yes.
Yeah. Legend. One of the best vocal one of the best vocalists of all time. Even though people might say she's like the queen of Christmas and everything like that, real motherfuckers know and shit too. You know what I'm saying? My favorite album might be, it might be that Butterfly album and stuff. I feel like that Butterfly album was pretty good. But you know what I'm saying? Pretty dope artist, classic.
Number 8 for me is Stevie Wonder, legend, a goat of R&B, songs in the key of life, one of the best R&B albums ever, top 5, a classic. Gave us many great albums as well, In the Visions, Talking Book, the Jungle Fever soundtrack. I love a lot of his songs, Superstition and Part Time Lover. I just call it Say I Love You, Master Blaster, the GOAT.
Definitely. All right. My number 7 is the Godfather of Soul, James Brown. I mean, the man has so many things said about him. All of them are true. If you heard it, definitely one of the most dynamic performers in R&B. He was pretty much the forerunner when it comes to like a lot of black music, the funk and hip hop and everything like that. Everybody definitely trying to incorporate a little James Brown. His live performances also was very unique. Like the way he just moved with his footwork was crazy and shit too. And then people don't mention it, but he is a very vocalist as well too. You know what I'm saying? My favorite album, it might be The Payback from 1973 and The Live at the Apollo from 1963 and shit. That might be actually my favorite live album of all time.
Number 7, the Queen of Hip Hop Soul, Mary J. Blige. Love this woman. She was my first concert in '92. She killed it back then. Still killing it now today. Gave us many classic albums. What's the Phone one of my favorite R&B debuts ever. And My Life even better than that. Share My World, great third album. The Mary album, great album for that. No More Drama, many hit records. Real Love and You Remind Me. You know, Be Happy. She got a ton of hits, man. Like this is the queen of hip hop soul for a reason, and that's my number 7.
Dope pick. My number 6 is Miles Davis. Yeah, Miles Davis definitely my favorite jazz artist of all time. You know what I'm saying? Revolutionized jazz literally like 6, 7 times in his career. You know what I'm saying? I love Electric Period Miles Davis. That's the Miles Davis I fuck with and everything like that. My favorite album is gonna be In the Silent Way. Very dark, very moody, and everything. And just the way like he does his transitions with his pieces too. I love how it can be sometimes very abrupt but at the same time, he still keeps like the tempo and everything like that too. So the greatest jazz artist of all time, Miles Davis. Yes, yes.
Number 6, Mikey's little sister, Janet Jackson, Little Penny, a legend, Control,
It's
a classic
Mikey.
third album. Huh?
That's the way you said Mikey,
Mikey's
little
little
sister.
sister. Yes, Mikey's little sister, Janet, a legend in her own right. Mikey's little sister in Control, and the Rhythm Nation 1814, the Janet album, Velvet Rope, all four of my favorite albums. All for Love included. Many hit singles, Miss You Much, Pleasure Principle, What Have You Done For Me Lately, Got Till It's Gone, If, That's the Way Love Goes. Phenomenal artist, the GOAT.
Definitely. Number 5 is Led Zeppelin. This is like the highest ranked rock group of all time on my list. You know what I'm saying? Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, John Bonham. You can't go wrong with that. I feel like when it comes to rock dominance, they picked up exactly where the Beatles left off and shit. Like they had definitely that mysterious aura around them. You know, do I have never mentioned the songs Whole Lot of Love, Communication Breakdown, Black Dog, Cashmere. I mean, all those songs featured a band at the top of their creative form and everything like that. Favorite album? Whew, it might have to be Houses of the Holy. That's my fucking joint. It actually has some of my favorite Led Zeppelin song on it too, the Rain song and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Number 5 for me is Jigga. What's my motherfucking name? Jigga. Jay-Z. Sean Carter. Hope. The Book of Hope. Phenomenal exhibit. Definitely check that out before it leaves in October. And this man put Brooklyn on his back after Biggie died in '97, and he ran with it and he did his thing to be a motherfucking legend, Hall of Famer, giving us classics like Reasonable Doubt and Volume 2 and The Blueprint, Black Album, many classic songs. I Just Want to Love You, Can I Get Her, Can't Knock the Hustle, Where I'm From, Hard Knock Life Anthem, Jigga Wugga Who, many classics, the GOAT.
yes. I love that energy and shit.
I was gonna do the whole fucking song.
Number 3 is number 4 is Marvin Gaye. See, I got corrected myself this time. Number 4 is Marvin Gaye. Marvin. Where do I have to begin with this motherfucker and shit? You know, this guy was literally one of the greatest R&B soul artists of all time. He brought his pain, his pleasure, his joy, everything in his music. Starting off as like that R&B crooner in the early days of Motown and shit like that too. Yeah, songs like Stubborn Kind of Fellow, Pride and Joy. And then once he dropped What's Going On, he was just on an artistic street that just kept going and going. My favorite album has got to be Hear My Dear, which I feel like that's like the greatest R&B album of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like talking about his divorce, but it was just as dark as R&B can get. Like whenever I think of like the heartbreak and turmoil and pain of R&B and soul music, that's the first album I think of, dead ass. So Marvin Gaye's my number 4.
Number 4, I Never Sleep, cause sleep is the cousin of death. Nasty Nas, Escobar, Nostradamus, Nasir Jones, the king of Queensbridge, as far as I'm concerned. But this man, phenomenal, has the best hip hop album of all time with Illmatic. That's the hip hop Bible, and gave us a classic sophomore album where it was written. I Am is criminally underrated. Stillmatic. He has classics, man. This is GOAT giving us many hit records, halftime, and it ain't hard to tell. If I rule the world, Nas is like, Ether, when he totally destroyed Jay-Z with that one diss song. great artist, man, and making the best music now with Hit Boy at the ripe age is 50 years old. Well, he's actually gonna be 50, I think, in September. But he's making the best music of his career. He's like he's in the second half of his career right now, and giving us the best music.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. I can no words said wrong and shit. Number three is Stevie Wonder, little Stevie Wonder and shit. You know what I'm saying? What can you say about Stevie Wonder? I mean, he's definitely a goat, one of the all-time greatest when it comes to music. You know, his man literally has a vision that no one has ever used before in music and shit like that. If I gotta pick a favorite album, it might be the 1973's Inner Visions and shit. You know, and it's crazy because right after that album, he actually got into a car accident, and he got into a car accident literally like up where I live and shit too, like around North Carolina and shit. So that's crazy and stuff too. So Stevie Wonder is actually my number three.
Number three, my material Madonna, the queen of
Oh
pop.
wow.
As far as I'm concerned, it ain't Britney Spears. Madonna's the queen of pop, always and forever. Giving us classics like a Virgin and True Blue, one of my favorite albums, criminally underrated. You know, bedtime stories from '95, classic album, Capria. You know, it's great, man. She's definitely a legend. Done everything there is to do. There's no more shock value. Madonna did it all. You know, you want a sex book? Madonna did it. Porno? Madonna did it. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that's done, Madonna did it already before any of these other chicks. You know,
Madonna
so
did.
she def- Madonna did that should be her new album. Madonna did it. Everything that's being done now, it's been done already back in the '80s. There's nothing new under the sun. Madonna did it, and she did it well. So yeah,
Definitely. Number two is Prince. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Prince is just like the all-time goat. You know, he's definitely one artist should be. He's not afraid to take risk. You know, he can play literally every instrument and everything. I definitely feel like he is definitely the premier artist and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Favorite album, Sign of the Times. I mean, can never go wrong with Sign of the Times and shit too. You know what I'm saying? So he just don't give a fuck. That's one thing I love about Prince. That's my number two.
Prince Roger Nelson, my favorite. Second, number two, the best in Minnesota. Please let RL know that he is the best in Minnesota. The one and only Prince. Purple Rain, my introduction to Prince. Classic album, classic movie, one of the best ever. Sign of the Times, one of the best ever. Diamonds and Pearls, one of the best ever. Many classics from this man, many hit records, Raspberry Beret, Let's Get Crazy, Purple Rain, Wanna Be a Lover, We'll Be Here Forever. And still in the afterlife, he's still giving us great albums.
I agree. And nobody like Prince.
Nope.
And my number one, I mean, you guys should not be surprised, but it's Michael Jackson. Michael
Come
Jackson is
on.
the greatest artist of all time. They should know. They should fucking know. Um, he's very influential, very groundbreaking. He was really the main one that made pretty much said I'm a black man, you know, doing pop music, but I'm gonna like influence all boundaries of music and just crush it and everything too. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was influenced by Michael. It's not even funny. I mean, he's like the greatest artist. My favorite album, either motherfucking Off the Wall or Thriller. With those two albums.
Number one for me is Jackie Jackson. No, let me stop. It is the goat of all goats. The goat of all goats. This man is like God mixed with Jordan and that Yes, he turned into the legend and given us many classics: Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, Dangerous, Criminally Underrated. I love this man. He is music to me. Without him, we lost a legend. We lost music without him. The music will never be the same, especially pop music. It will never be the same without the pop icon. This is when I made this list, his name went first before anybody else because that's what it is. He is the
Same.
goat of all goats.
Same. All right. I love doing this list. Definitely.
Yes.
All right. So I gotta end this off
I
right
like
here.
I like Ray Sean's
Okay.
list. Ray Sean got Charles Wilson and Little Wayne, the Jackson Five, Madonna Culture Club. I love his list.
Yeah, I've been looking at his list too. Yeah, shout out to Ray. I gotta watch your Robin S review and shit.
So
All right. So I'm gonna end this off right here 'cause I gotta work in the morning. You know what I'm
all
saying?
right.
So one thing about Wednesday, it's gonna be the end of our Van Halen Artist Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about the double
Oh,
review between. We're gonna do a double review between David Lee Roth's EP, his first solo album and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then next week we're gonna start our cold chilling artist
yes.
Sundays and shit like that. You know what
Ah,
I'm saying? We're gonna
I love it.
kick it off with Biz Marquis' double album, I Need a
Mm,
Haircut, and
mm,
All Samples Clear. So yeah, I can't wait for that
mm.
shit, yo. I can't wait. You
That's
know.
gonna be good. Yes.
And also Cavase is gonna stop by our show. He's gonna drop his own top 30 artist list. You know what I'm saying? So I really can't wait to
Yeah.
see what he has to say. Shout out to Cavase, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What else we going on? So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so Thursday is gonna be King T with that Full Life album. Really can't wait to talk about
So
that. That might be my
yeah.
favorite King T album. Spoiler alert. You know what I'm saying? So
All
yeah,
right.
man. Dope review we did. I'm gonna get you sucker yesterday. I really love that. So yeah, gonna be an easy and chill. Oh shit, gonna be an easy and chill week. Not anything too crazy. So yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Try.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.